The healing at the pool. Some time later, Jesus went up to Jerusalem for one of the Jewish festivals. 2 Now there is in Jerusalem near the sheep gate a pool, which in Aramaic is called Bethesda, and which is surrounded by 5 covered colonnades. 3 Here a great number of disabled people used to lie, the blind, the lame, the paralyzed. 4 5 One who was there had been an invalid for 38 years. 6 When Jesus saw him lying there and learned that he had been in this condition for a long time, he asked him, "Do you want to get well?" 7 Sir, the invalid replied, "I have no one to help me into the pool when the water is stirred. While I am trying to get in, someone else goes down ahead of me." 8 Then Jesus said to him, "Get up. Pick up your mat and walk." 9 At once the man was cured, he picked up his mat and walked. The day on which this took place was a Sabbath. 10 And so the Jewish leaders said to the man who had been healed, "It is the Sabbath, the law forbids you to carry your mat." 11 But he replied, "The man who made me well said to me, pick up your mat and walk." 12 So they asked him, "Who is this fellow who told you to pick it up and walk?" 13 The man who was healed had no idea who it was, for Jesus had slipped away into the crowd that was there. 14 Later Jesus found him at the temple and said to him, "See, you are well again. Stop sinning or something worse may happen to you." 15 The man went away and told the Jewish leaders that it was Jesus who had made him well. John 5 verses 1 to 15 tells the story of Jesus healing a man who had been ill for 38 years at the Pool of Bethesda in Jerusalem. The passage highlights Jesus' power, compassion, and his authority over the Sabbath, as well as the religious leaders' resistance to his claims of divinity and their preoccupation with legalistic interpretations of the Sabbath. Key elements of the passage. The Pool of Bethesda. This pool, known for its healing properties, was a place where many people, including the man with a long-standing illness, waited for the water to be stirred, believing it would bring healing. Jesus' compassion and power. Jesus, seeing the man's suffering and knowing his situation, asks him if he wants to be healed and then heals him instantly, demonstrating his power and compassion. The Sabbath violation. The religious leaders, angered that Jesus healed the man on the Sabbath, accuse him of violating religious law. The man's lack of faith and gratitude. The healed man, despite being miraculously cured, doesn't seem to appreciate the healing or acknowledge Jesus' identity. Jesus' claims of divinity. Jesus' actions and his words reveal his claim to be equal with God, as he works on the Sabbath and declares God to be his Father, in a way that implies divinity. Meaning and significance. Jesus' authority and power. The healing demonstrates Jesus' power to heal physical ailments and, symbolically, his power to heal spiritual illnesses and offer eternal life. The importance of faith. The man's lack of faith and gratitude highlights the importance of believing in Jesus and acknowledging his role in our lives. The Sabbath as a test of faith. The religious leaders' focus on the Sabbath rules rather than the miracle of healing reveals their lack of faith and their preference for legalism over God's grace. Jesus' claims of divinity and their implications. Jesus' claims to be equal with God and his Father are a key part of the Gospel of John's message about Jesus' identity as the Messiah and the Son of God.